So Canada's own Shai Gilgeous-Alexander purchased a $8 million waterfront property in Ontario, Canada, and he kept having random people come up to his house asking for Aiden Pletersk. And come to find out, he was a self-proclaimed crypto king that actually defrauded over 150 investors. And this not only put Shai's life at risk, but it could have cost him his life because this self-proclaimed crypto king ended up getting kidnapped. That's how badly he defrauded some of these investors. As come to find out after he filed for bankruptcy that he only invested 1% of their money and he spent most of the cash on luxury cars, houses, and just showing off on social media. But ever since the downfall of FTX, we've seen a few athletes get actually caught up with these crypto schemes. Stephen Curry, Tom Brady, Shaq, and some of the NBA teams even, like the Miami Heat, I believe they had an endorsement deal with FTX. And a few other franchises as well in the NFL. So SGA purchased this waterfront property for $8 million, and it was never disclosed to him once that there were people and incidents happening at this residence. And the only reason they found out is because his girlfriend had called the police about it, and the police actually looked through their files and let them know that there was numerous incidents reported at that address. And there was even an incident in which the property was almost lit on fire. So they had just a bunch of random people coming up to the house asking for their money. This really could have went left quick, as a self-proclaimed crypto king himself ended up getting kidnapped.
We begin with an update in a case involving Ontario's self-proclaimed crypto king. CBC News has received a video of Aiden Pletersk visibly beaten and apologizing for losing investors' money. We've also learned 5 men are charged with kidnapping him. This comes during a bankruptcy case that's trying to find more than $40 million given to Pletersk to invest.
And that $40 million is just from a few investors. It's rumored that he has over 150 people looking to get their money back from him. But the fact that some of the investors was willing to go this route as far as kidnapping him and torturing him, there's no telling what they could have done to SGA and his girlfriend while they were staying at that residence. But it's unfortunate that you spend that much amount of money on a property and there's so much lack of transparency. And I don't know how it is in Canada, but in the States here, depending on what part of the country you live in, if the ownership of a property is behind an LLC, they don't really have to reveal the names. They could just reveal the entity instead. So that kind of leaves a lot of secrecy, even though some people could be spending over $20 million on a property. And this lack of transparency could have had SGA either kidnapped or even worse come to worse, knock on wood, he could have ended up losing his life. And this story could have took a complete left turn involving an NBA superstar. But ever since the 2020 pandemic, when a lot of people were in their homes and a lot of stimulus was given out, of course, and from influencers to celebrities to athletes, a lot of people was hopping on the crypto craze. And the largest fraud being that FTX exchange, where the founder ended up getting charged on all 7 counts of fraud. And he could be facing up to 100 years, just life in prison. But yeah, the story is definitely crazy because once again, SGA only found out about the multiple incidents happening at the property because the police informed him of it. So right now he's in a lawsuit with the previous seller of not disclosing on that information. But once again, the fact that you could spend $8 million on an industry like real estate and just have lack of transparency, which could end up costing you your life, that is a crazy conundrum to be in. And someone with the access just to lose $40 million just coming up to your house asking for it, man, they really have the means to do anything. And I mean anything. But I don't know what I would do if I lost $40 million to someone just stunting on the gram, showing off his cars, and just taking lavish vacations. Once again, this guy only invested 1% of the money that he was given. 1% of the money. And it ended up getting Pletersk kidnapped and held up for ransom. Who the hell were they asking the money for? I guess desperate times equals desperate measures, but this story definitely would have been crazy had it somehow involved the NBA superstar getting held up for ransom instead.